and welcome to a brand new episode of Health 360. This week on the show, we're telling you about your walk. The way you walk mirrors and gives an important indication about your physical and mental health. Also on the show, we're commemorating World Mental Health Day, and this time the theme, rightfully so, is workplace stress, the elephant in the room that needs to be addressed. We're also telling you about food colorants, colors added in processed foods to make it attractive, and it makes you very, very sick. That much more up ahead on the show. I'm Sneha Mordani. Bakeries in Bengaluru have been in news for the wrong reasons, for having cakes and pastries with ingredients that could be causing cancer. What are these ingredients? Essentially, these are colors used in processed foods like cakes and pastries to give it a distinct color. It could be red velvet, it could be hues of green or yellow or any other color. Food colors have been used in processed food items for many, many years, but excessive use of these food colors are causing serious health problems. We explore in this report. Hues of pink, yellow, blue, green in your food. Pastries, the red velvet pastry or pastries and cakes and ice cream which have added food color in them, which gives them this distinct color, makes them attractive, at least to look at, even if though it doesn't do anything to your taste. Processed food items are full of food colors. But do you know what these food colors do to your health if they are used in excessive in any of these food items that we consume, even before thinking twice on what they could be doing to our health?
Hues of red, velvets, tints of green. Does colored food of this kind look appealing? Perhaps yes. But I would tell you what goes into making them colorful for you. You would be shocked. But first, why are we talking about pastries and colored food? Recently, cakes and pastries found in bakeries in Karnataka have found to have cancer-causing carcinogenic substances. Food color that could make you very sick. Food Safety and Quality Department of Karnataka has found 235 samples of cakes and pastries with food color that causes cancer. Ellora Red, Sunset Yellow FCP, Ponsio 4R, Tartrazine and Carmoisin were the food colors exceeding the prescribed limits.
The government has found out that in few cakes which they were sampled, there is presence of few carcinogenic chemicals. So these chemicals, which are actually industrial chemicals, they are being used to color the food materials. Few of the cancers can be attributed to those amines like bladder cancer, stomach cancers. It is very well known that these chemicals can lead to developmental delay in children. They can lead to asthma, they can lead to allergic reactions and hepatitis.
Food dyes are chemical substances that were developed to enhance the appearance of food by giving it artificial color. While many of these colorants are not banned, but their use is supposed to be within permissible limits. People have added coloring to food for centuries, but the first artificial food colorings were created in 1856 from coal tar. Nowadays, food dyes are made from petroleum. Hundreds of artificial food dyes have been developed, but a majority of them have since been found to be toxic. There are only a handful of artificial dyes that are still used in food. Red 40, or Elora Red, AC, is a commonly used food coloring that provides a vibrant red hue to numerous products. It is widely used in the food industry, primarily in processed and packaged foods, beverages, and even medications. Red 40 is considered safe for consumption by regulatory authorities, such as the Food and Drug Administration, when used within specific limits. Breakfast cereals, candies, frozen treats, popsicles, canned fruits, and decorative icings. In Bangalore, overuse of Red 40 in the cakes above permissible limits has led to concerns. Tartrazine, also known as E102, is a synthetic yellow dye commonly used in food, beverages, and cosmetics. Side effects: as per experts, use of this color in food is linked with increased hyperactivity or behavioral issues in children, particularly those with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Artificial food dye consumption is on the rise, especially among children. Consuming too much food dye containing contaminants could pose a health risk. Karnataka government on Monday prohibited usage of rhodamine B artificial color in gobi Manchurian and cotton candy.
Actually, it is a banned substance by FSSAI and it is not to be used in food. It is only for industrial use. So Government of India has already banned it to be used in food. But being cheaper, being easily available, many street vendors and roadside food stalls and all, they are still using this thing. Probably they don't understand the harmful effect it can lead to. It can lead to cancer, kidney diseases, and allergy, asthma, many things.
Removing processed foods from your diet and focusing on healthy whole foods will improve your overall health and drastically decrease your intake of artificial food dyes in the process. Food dyes are likely not dangerous for most people, but avoiding processed foods that contain dyes can improve your overall health.
Research has now indicated that the way you walk, perhaps even in your 30s and 40s, gives important clues about your physical and mental health condition. It's also going to give an indication about what are the diseases that you could perhaps be developing in the near future. How is that? We tell you in this report. What's in your walk really? Slow walk, fast walk, walking with your shoulders slouched completely, looking down, or dragging your feet like this. The way you walk on a normal basis, on a daily basis, gives very important clues about your physical health and your mental health. A study published in 2019 in JAMA Network Open found that your walking speed at age 45 can indicate the speed of your physical and neurological aging. The researchers examined nearly 1,000 45-year-olds to understand what walking speed revealed about their aging. Gait speed seems to be not only an indicator of aging, but also an indicator of lifelong brain health. Another study published in 2022 in JAMA Network Open has found that slowing walking speed and slowing memory in adults older than 65 increase the risk of dementia. Research indicates that your style of walking, your gait speed actually gives important clues about your physical health and is also directly linked to aging. And this gives a good indication, Dr. Banga, about how you're going to be aging and what is your brain health like, isn't it? Because neurologists like yourself have been looking into walking patterns of many patients for a very long time. So what does your walk really indicate?
the different patterns of walk. For example, if you walk with small, short steps, what is your step length, step height, what is your cadence, how your speed of walking, then whether you move your hand, which are known as autonomic movements of hands, whether this is there or not. For example, somebody who has Parkinson's will walk with a very short step, very less speed, and his hands won't move with his body. There have been researches which tells that the patients, especially between above 40s and then above 60s, if you look at their gait pattern, if you look at their walking pattern and then relate it with their cognitive function and follow it up over years, it has been found that the patients, that the people who have a certain characteristics in their gait and walking pattern tend to do worse with regards to their cognitive function or the brain function, which involves memory, executive function, judgment, and how they are going to do overall in the later part of their life.
Your gait speed is directly linked to how quickly would you be aging, physically and mentally, because researchers found that if facial structure, also your brain structure change drastically if your gait speed was slow, essentially establishing a link between healthy individuals who walk slowly and the fact that they could be perhaps aging faster in days, weeks and months to come. So Dr. Banga, a lot is said about people who walk fast. You know, some people are always observed as being in a hurry always. Even without the requirement of walking fast, they're running around all the time. What has that got to do with one's cardiovascular health? How is that linked to the heart?
So for example, if somebody is walking briskly or faster than the other individuals, it tells us that their heart health, their lung health, their overall cardiovascular health is better. For example, let's presume if somebody is walking faster than the normal individual, it's like going upstairs. For example, if you're walking upstairs and if you're able to walk upstairs for 2 floors, 3 floors without getting breathless, this means that your heart and lung is fine. It's equivalent to a treadmill test that we do to evaluate a cardiac function. And it also tells us about the fact that their muscle, their bones, their joints are absolutely fine.
What clues does your walk give people as far as your mental health is concerned, but the state of your mind?
So for example, if you're walking with like chin up and like you're walking fast with a confidence chest out approach, like obviously it feels like you are confident. And then somebody is walking with the shoulder down and he is not looking, you are not facing, you are not looking straight. This tells you that the person is probably underconfident. For example, if somebody is walking and his hands are very stiff by the side of the body, it can also tell us that that person is anxious. That person is anxious about how do people look at him. So it also gives insight into what somebody is thinking. It also gives us insights into their mental health and well-being.
A study from 2014 indicates that slouching while walking, dragging feet, even uneven patterns show mental overload and stress. The study published in PubMed called "Do Slumped and Upright Postures Affect Stress Responses?" indicates just this. When there is a risk of, or whether a person is predisposed to say like a cognitive disorder like Parkinson's disease, for example, what does the walk of a person in their 40s really indicate, especially if that person is predisposed?
So there has been a test which is known as dual task effect. So what happens, for example, when you're walking and when you are given another cognitive task to operate, for example, for now when I'm walking and it gives you something to calculate, then how does it bring the change in your gait? Is correlated with the aging and its effect on your brain.
Even
health.
in people in their 40s?
Yes, it does. For example, if you have a cognitive task, obviously you will start having your concentration over there, and then your walk can change. And based on that pattern, how much does it change? How is the percentage of that change? We can predict that the patient is predisposed to a certain disease or not. Most of it is cognitive functions, which tells us about the memory and other, but there are also other functions such as executive functions, patients with Parkinson's disease, their family.
So next time you worry about your loved one's physical or mental health, do this. Observe their walk, because the walk really is a mirror into one's physical health and mental health. The week gone by has seen us commemorate World Mental Health Day. And the theme this time around, perhaps rightfully so, is workplace stress. That certainly is the elephant in the room which needs to be talked about, which needs to be addressed. We'll tell you why in this report.
Mental stress at workplace is the elephant in the room. And more than ever, the time is now to address this crisis that is assuming epidemic proportions. October 10th marks World Mental Health Day, and the theme, rightfully so, is workplace stress. Employees facing increasing pressure from long hours and demanding deadlines. Addressing mental health in corporate environments is no longer optional, but a necessity to safeguard employee well-being.
It's an absolute undiluted role of the organization to provide for psychological safety, to provide for psychological first aid, to provide for interventions at various levels for mental health, to create awareness, to create a narrative where there is an openness where people can talk.
Recent incidents have highlighted the mental health crisis that is not getting addressed. A study by the National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences found that 42.5% of corporate employees suffer from depression or general anxiety disorder due to work-related stress. Despite this high figure, in India, 80% of people with mental health issues do not seek help due to stigma, as reported in the National Mental Health Survey 2015-2016. A 2016 study of over 6,000 employees across Indian cities found that 80% of respondents showed signs of anxiety, while 55% showed signs of depression. The same study revealed that the risk of suicidal behavior nearly quadrupled between 2008 and 2016.
See, anxiety, depression, a person is able to get over, but he had those issues remains. The information remains with the HR, it remains with the managers, and it might affect the forthcoming projects or new roles. So that is why they are very hesitant to take advice or consult mental health professionals.
In fact, the WHO estimates that globally, depression and anxiety costs the economy $1 trillion annually in lost productivity.
I was asked to do a very difficult proposal for within 24 hours, which I did, and we got the deal. Despite that, my senior manager documented that I'll be put on a performance improvement program. I think I'll call it a strategic maneuver to harass an employee to the point of mental breakdown, to the point that they quit.
For many Indian professionals, the culture of overwork, coupled with societal expectations, creates immense pressure to perform.
Leaders should be proactive in terms of asking and expecting their people to take a break when people feel overwhelmed. I also think they should ask people to take professional help whenever people feel that they are not able to cope up with workplace stress or they're feeling too burnt out, etc. Getting professional help is a great option.
Experts say that empathy and acknowledgement starts from the top.
We see a lot of companies offer programs which have health insurance, physical checkups, etc. But in today's workplace, it is equally important to invest in a mental health program as well. A program that helps your employees get access to individual counseling for themselves and their family, as well as regular access to group sessions where they can, open up.
India has made strides in addressing mental health in the workplace, but much progress is still required. The Mental Health Care Act 2017 is in place, but the challenge is its implementation.
A world champion who's lifted 35 kilos in dead weight. We're talking about the world champion being a 4-year-old. Here's a special interview with Arya Gadia.
कितने सारे रिकॉर्ड्स हैं आपके और क्या करती हैं आप?
मैं डेडलिफ्ट करती हूँ.
कैसे करती है? कैसे आपके पास इतना हिम्मत है? 30 किलोस उठाती है?
हाँ।
बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग है आप. हाँ? मुश्किल लगता है 30 किलोस लिफ्ट करना?
नहीं.
Where does this kind of energy and strength really come from? It runs in the family. Sanjay is also a power lifter, but Sanjay told me he doesn't hold a world record. So Sanjay, what's going on here? This is a miracle child, isn't it?
I would not actually say it's a miracle child. It is, yes, she is indeed blessed. She is gifted. But the secret to her power or the secret to her stamina is basically consistency, I would say, and dedication. When she sees others in the gym, the elderly, people working out in the gym, when they are lifting more plates, she doesn't know how heavy one plate is. So she just wants to lift more plates. Okay. So, in that, her eagerness to lift more plates, she's gaining the strength. She's gaining the...
There is this hunger to
hunger,
do.
Yes. How much do you want to lift?
35.
35. So she wants to lift 35 kilos. Mother Preksha is also with us. बच्चे इस उम्र में जाते हैं झूला खेलने के लिए, पार्क जाते हैं, they go to the park, but your child is going to the gym. What's going on here? And since when has this been happening?
Since 1 year.
Okay.
She's going to the gym since 1 year. Actually, she just went for fun with my husband. Like, he's going when I want to go. Just 3-4 times she went. She got motivated. Like, when I want to do, and she started doing.
I'm just wondering, what do pediatricians, sports, physiotherapists, nutritionists have to say about the child doing this at such a young age, and how the growth perhaps can be stunted? It's a big myth. Let's bust that myth.
Ma'am, we have had multiple pediatric advices, and it is everyone has the same saying that weightlifting is not going to affect her height growth.
Right.
Because height is not just going to be affected by any external. Yes, one thing which we have to take care is her spinal cord is not that very developed. So when she's going to squat over the body weight, when she's going to squat, we have to take some precautions. We have to use a good, nice belt for her, where it will help her. And other than that, there is nothing that it is going to affect her physiologically.
Well, that brings us to the end of this edition of Health 360. You can find this report and much more up on our website, which is indiatoday.in. You can also download the India Today app. Also, all stories on health, wellness and fitness can be found on all of India Today's social media platforms, which is X, that is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook and YouTube. Until next time, take very good care of yourself. It's goodbye from the entire team of Health 360.